already 47 people in joined live. So for you, it's probably boring to just watch this thing starting soon. So I thought maybe I should entertain you somehow. We will not start covering the core stuff yet. We will wait for 5 more minutes for more people to join. But I was thinking maybe you can write in chat where you're joining from and how have you heard, how did you hear about this Zoom camp? So yeah, please uh, write that in chat. And also I want to do a poll. Um, what should I ask? Mm, maybe I'll ask if you have any experience, prior experience with machine learning. That would be interesting. Do you have any prior experience with ML? Okay, so that will be an interesting poll. Reddit, you've heard about this on Reddit. Oh, interesting. It was recommended by a friend. That's also amazing. Because like I used to promote the course on Reddit, but not anymore because it's very difficult to promote courses on Reddit. Usually, the moment I post something on Reddit, it gets banned, and I don't want to be banned. And that's actually good that you heard about this on Reddit. So it means that somebody else recommended the course there. So it's pretty cool. Um, Hi, Miguel. Yeah, you did the data engineering Zoom camp and got this one. So you probably enjoyed the data engineering one. Um, Reddit. Yeah, I need to check. Like maybe I should make a post on Reddit. So already two people mentioned Reddit. So I should check. Perhaps I will not be banned this time I share this. I found it in GitHub. How did you find it on GitHub? Was it trending? Was it something else? Um, I participated in the course. Heard about it from Discord. Which Discord? We also don't have Discord, so I'm curious which Discord was it. So probably somebody else recommended it on Discord. So really curious what was that. So when it comes to the Slido link, I see that there is a question about the Slido link. First of all, we have a Telegram channel where I share the link. So let me actually share this link with you. I will put it in the chat. But then there's also it's also pinned. It should be. Oh well, is it not pinned? Like at least for me, it's pinned. I'll quickly share my screen and show it to you. Just a second. I will. Here's my Zoom. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is how you find questions. So now when I will stop the poll, you will only see this one. And then you just click on that and okay. And then you should go to this thing. But also maybe which is more convenient, you just go to slido.com and enter MLZ, which is short for ML Zoomcamp, or you just scan the QR code. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep checking how you found it. It's pretty interesting. Through data engineering keywords on GitHub. Ah, that's interesting. Most recommended data engineering bootcamp on Reddit. Uh, okay, but like this one is not data engineering Zoomcamp, but I guess you found it by extension when you were looking for the data engineering Zoomcamp. You found the ML one. That's cool. Okay, LinkedIn and Reddit. Okay, go. That's amazing. Like, okay, what I'm going to do now is stop the poll and see what we have there. So 60% already have prior experience with machine learning, which is cool. So this course will be mainly about machine learning engineering. We will also be touching some machine learning. So for those who do not have prior experience, we will have enough materials for you to get into machine learning. It will not be in-depth course in machine learning, but you will already get some understanding of what exactly it is. Should be enough to work as a machine learning engineer. Okay, got recommendation from Medium. That's also cool. Yeah, I'm amazed. Like it's really amazing how you discovered the course. Like I did not expect most of these answers, to be honest. Like for example, Discord, or you just randomly found it on GitHub. That's amazing. I think we should be starting. So I'll just do a quick intro of the course. Actually, the course is not starting yet. So here, the purpose of this stream now is to, first of all, get to know each other a little bit. You already have some questions and I want to answer these questions, but the actual course will start in 2 weeks. So this is the course page on GitHub, or there is a shortcut mlzoomcamp.com and it redirects to this page. Close this. And yeah, the start date is 16th of September. So this is when we will actually start the course. Right now, I will just answer your questions, but on September 16th, I'll do slides where I'll talk about logistics of the course, how exactly we are going to run that, etc. So here, I'm just here to answer your questions. I discovered this in the awesome list on GitHub. That's amazing. Anyways, so what I'm going to do now is I just want to, like I mentioned already, the course page on GitHub. There is a dog barking outside. I hope you don't hear it. Anyways, so this is the content, right? If you just scroll down, you can see that sections. I think you can just go through this in your own time after that to just have some understanding what exactly we are going to cover. But hopefully most of you have already seen this page and know the content, right? So all of that is what we are going to cover in the course, right? So if I take a look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules will be about machine learning, and 1, 2, 3 about machine learning engineering, right? So yeah, will be actually more machine learning than machine learning engineering, but yeah, here the idea is you learn enough machine learning to be a machine learning engineer. So the focus is still more on the engineering aspects, and you will see that in the projects too. So what I'm going to do now is go to this page. This is where you ask questions. And again, there is a pinned link in the live chat. You can click on that link, you can ask your questions, or you alternatively can just scan the QR code or go to Slido and enter this one. So I will not be monitoring live chat for questions. It's very difficult. This one is more manageable. So we will go through this list, starting from the most upvoted question. So let's start. If we learn this, can we get a job for an entry-level? Can we get into a job for an entry-level machine learning? Yes, you can do that. You can definitely do that. And there are quite a few people who did that. And actually, you can read some of the success stories. We don't have a lot of them. but there are two in our data talks page. If you go to articles, you will see two interviews. Let me see. It's kind of hard to find. So the first one is this interview with Ken Wu. So these are actually from our very, very first launch, very, very first cohort. The first one was Ken, and the second was Valery. Yeah. So this was from our first launch of the course. After that, we interviewed Ken. So Ken and Valery, they both ended. They both did an internship at Delphi, and here is their interview. So Ken continued actually with his studies, and Valery worked as an engineer after the internship. But there are also many success stories where people did not do internship but started a job immediately after that. So there are definitely success stories. The reason we have these articles is because for the first cohort, we did it. We had a collaboration with Delphi, so they selected the most interesting students and they had internship with them. For this year, we do not have such collaborations yet. So if anyone knows a company who is interested in working with us on that, let me know. You can do that through Slack, and we can arrange something like that. So it happened only once. When we did that, it went quite well. But you can also check interviews, you can check Slack, you will find many success stories. So yes, the answer is yes, it's definitely possible. What are the prerequisites for this course? Can you please suggest how much time a beginner should spend per week? Well, there are different beginners, so it depends on what kind of beginner you are. And the prerequisites are in the GitHub repo. So these are the prerequisites, right? Prior programming experience, being comfortable with command line, and you don't need any machine learning. So here, most people who do not have programming experience start to struggle with module 5, and then module 9 and 10 even more difficult. It doesn't mean it will not be possible for you to complete it. You'll just have to put more effort there. Like you need to know, like you basically need to, first of all, the most difficult thing is installing Docker. If you can do that, then you're probably good to go. But then also not being able to, or not be, you shouldn't be afraid of command line and like executing different commands there. That's the main thing, right? And you should know Python. If you don't know Python, you still have 2 weeks to learn it. It's not like if you already have prior programming experience and you know JavaScript or Java or whatever, for you learning Python will be relatively straightforward. So yeah, that is the prerequisites. If you're not super comfortable with programming, the first modules should be fine, right? And then you still have time by module 5 to learn Python. Perhaps you can. I actually don't know if there are definitely good Python courses. It's just I cannot recommend anything from the top of my head. But I think if you just go to Google and type in Python courses, you'll definitely find a lot of courses. And also you can ask in Slack. I'm sure former students and graduates can suggest something. And when it comes to how much time a beginner should spend per week, again, like depends. Somewhere, people who are very comfortable with programming, they spend 5 hours or less, maybe 4. If many concepts are new for you, it can take up to 20 hours. So it really depends on your background. It would be great if you guys have a path of full stack data scientist based on all your courses. I mean, like this one, you take this course, you take the data engineering course, and you're kind of like 60% full stack. You'll just need to pick up product management skills somewhere, and I think you're good to go, right? I mean, this is a short version. Of course, it would be nice if there is a path with exact materials. Maybe sometime, but right now we have so many ideas. We have some new course ideas. So probably I will myself, me personally, I will not be able to do that. But if somebody wants to contribute, please reach out and I can suggest what to do, right? So if you want to do this, let's talk and we can see how to make it happen. Will I be able to make a portfolio worthy project in these 3-4 months? Also, how many hours per week are sufficient for the camp? I have answered the second part of the question. From 5 to 20, depends on your background. You will definitely be able to make portfolio worthy projects in these 3-4 months. You can check the projects from the past students here. If you go to projects, there is like if you scroll all the way down to project gallery, open in Streamlit, and you can select. So, for example, if you're interested only in ML Zoomcamp projects, then okay, yeah. So now you can see. So, for example, this one. So yeah, there are many projects. Some are okay, some are good, some are great, some are super excellent. So you will just need to click on that and see what are the projects. But definitely, like I've seen amazing projects, and like I can already see that there's cloud deployment. So it's worth spending some time here. Oops. It's worth spending some time here on this page, just going through projects. You will not know how many points or if they passed. This is something we will add later, not to this platform, but for some other one. So there is no way you don't know if they passed or failed, how many points they got for this project, but at least you can, if you go through, I don't know, there are 644. That's amazing. I think half of them will be pretty good. So, or like, and 10% will be amazing. So again, how I found this link. So I went to our GitHub repo, then projects, and then I scroll down to project gallery and open in Streamlit. Right. So this is what I did. So definitely you will be able to create. And again, it depends how much time and effort you want to put into studying and into making your project. So I suggest you already think about a project idea you have. You will need to do 2 projects in this course, up to 3 projects. So yeah, you can already start thinking what you want to do. And yeah, I'm sure if you put time and effort, you will make amazing projects. Is this course contains all the stuff related to machine learning? Well, it's not possible to have all the stuff, but I think I mentioned how many modules are related to machine learning, how many modules are related to machine learning engineering. So I would answer it this way. You will learn enough machine learning to work as a machine learning engineer and to continue learning machine learning. And you will definitely need to continue because we just cover the fundamentals, let's say, but there is much, much, much more. And it's very likely that even though you have enough knowledge to get hired after this course, you will still need to learn many, many, many new things once you start working. And that's totally fine. Should I do LLM Zoomcamp first or this? I wanted to explore both. I am data engineer. I mean, they are very different. So here we talk about machine learning. So this is really from zero to from the ground up, like from nothing. You don't know anything about machine learning, and then you will learn something. In LLM Zoomcamp, we treat LLMs as black boxes.
So here in this machine learning course, we actually try to understand what linear regression is, what logistic regression is, how decision trees work. So we get inside this model. We learn how they work inside, right? We don't do that in the LLM course. In the LLM course, we just, okay, here's ChatGPT. Like, let's put some prompt there. Okay, this is what it answers. So you kind of just learning by poking it, and you don't really care what's inside. In this course, we do care what's inside, and we do not cover. We don't have any NLP here. We don't cover LLMs here. So these are fundamentals. So it really depends on what you want to do. So right now, the LLM course is about to finish, and this one is about to start. And it's more fun to do to take part as a to participate in the course as a part of a cohort. So I would actually recommend to do this one, but also at the same time, yeah, you can do the LLM one. I think LLM one is a bit lighter because especially if you're a data engineer, for you it will be easier because like actually LLM Zoomcamp is just engineering. Like this is an LLM, this is how you connect to this, this is like data source, this is how you put the data there. So for you as a data engineer, it will be more straightforward than the ML one, I think. Will the videos be updated as per the topic of the week? No, we don't plan to update the videos. So I already showed you the repo. You just every module. It's not necessarily 1 week per module. For some modules, it will be 2. And let's say if right now it's module 1, you just go to module 1 and you go through the units here, right? So for example, you start with this one, you watch it, you check notes if you want, and you go to the next one, right? So this is how navigation here works. We do not plan to update any videos, even though this was we created this course like 4 years ago, I think. All the materials are still up to date. And we still use scikit-learn. I mean data scientists, machine learning engineers, and community in general. We still use scikit-learn, we still use pandas, we still use NumPy, we still use Kubernetes, like all the tools we cover in this course, or Docker, Flask. Well, Flask, maybe now people prefer Fast API, but like the concepts are still the same. So I think in the next couple of years, there will be no reason to re-record the videos. Even though maybe we use an old version of Python, here you just switch, you just use Python 3.12 instead of Python 3.7, and everything will just work. So we will not do any video updates. What sort of mathematical skills would be needed for this course and for MLE? So here we expect that maybe at some point you saw some mathematical formulas, you don't remember anything. So there is some mathematical background, like maybe you attended the course on linear algebra and you saw matrix multiplication. So here what we will do is we will explain some mathematics in the first module. So we will have a module on linear algebra where we will talk about matrix multiplication, which is the most important mathematical operation when it comes to machine learning, or at least for like most of the operations we do in machine learning when we apply them is matrix multiplication. So we'll cover that, and we will not need derivatives, integrals, differential equations, none of that. Like if you want to go deeper into mathematics of machine learning, you will need to learn matrix calculus. In particular, you will need like to take derivatives. Yeah, you will need to learn derivatives. Apart from that, yeah, like you just check things you need. Of course, there are more complex areas where you need like convex optimization, but yeah, I think with derivatives it will be enough. In general, for this course, you'll need to be okay with, after watching this video, you'll need to understand what's happening. Luckily, we have this video, and here I try to explain with a code how matrix multiplication works. So I'm pretty sure if you already if you know how to code, you'll understand that. So yeah, you don't need a lot of math. Do we need to deep dive in machine learning to complete this course? Depends what you mean by deep dive. So I would not call this course a deep dive. So we're only scratching the surface. So I'll just talk about different applications of machine learning here. We'll cover regression, classification, and then we'll see how to evaluate models. And then we'll talk a bit about decision trees and deep learning. So we're merely scratching the surface. It will not be a deep dive. And also when it comes to machine learning engineering, it will not be a deep dive. But still, it's like 4 months. It's a lot of materials. It's more broad than deep. So after this course, you should have the foundation to actually do a deep dive in any of the areas. Which PC, laptop, and system requirements, like as long as you can run things. Like basically what I'm trying to say, like you just need to have a laptop. That's it. Like it doesn't matter which one. Even if you have a tablet, right? I know people who did it with a tablet. What you can do is you can use GitHub code spaces. Well, I will not do it. Like basically, GitHub code spaces will give you an environment where you can execute everything for free. So as long as you have a laptop, a tablet with keyboard, you're good to go. Yes, this course is free. So everything we do in Datadogs Lab, all the courses we do, all the videos, all the workshops are free for participants. So yes, it's free. Is there any mathematics book or learning materials you would recommend? You don't need mathematics apart from like the things we talk about here, like linear algebra refresher. Even though it's called refresher, because we assume that you at some point saw some mathematics in your past. Yeah, like even if you don't know how to multiply matrices, this thing should explain you that. And that's like the only thing we rely on when we do the course. Again, this is an engineering course, so we try to, like, we don't go deep into mathematics, right? So for mathematics, there are other courses. I'm sure you'll find many of them online. So for example, a course on Coursera from Andrew Ng about machine learning, which is a pretty old one, but this is the course I started my machine learning journey with. It goes, like, it doesn't, also like the math there is not as complex, but it's more complex than we have in the course, and then from there you'll see where to go. But also Introduction to Statistical Learning, right? This one, yeah, there's also some mathematics there. Okay. But like, again, for this course, you don't need any mathematics, any book. You just go through the course and see and learn what you need. I think I answered that question. Is there any fee to acquire certificated completion? No, we don't. Like, as I said, it's free. If we leave off all the paid stuff that we encounter, can we still successfully complete the course and get the project done and thus get the certificate? Yes. So when it comes to the paid stuff, it's only, okay, let me check. So we will do some cloud deployment in module 5. So this one. And we have this deployment to the cloud, AWS Elastic Beanstalk, and it's marked as optional. So you can do that, but you can also find an alternative way to deploy your solution without, that is free, right? So this stuff is actually non-free, but you'll find an alternative. And then also, for example, if instead of AWS, you decide to choose Google Cloud Platform, Google Cloud Platform gives you like $300 for free for a couple of months. Okay, then when it comes to deep learning, we also use here, so we use here AWS SageMaker, which is not free. Then Saturn Cloud, we last year partnered with Saturn Cloud, and they provided notebooks with GPUs for the students. I cannot promise if we will do this year or not. I should ask them. I'm taking a note. If we will do this again this year. But also, like if for some reasons we end up not partnering with Saturn Cloud for this year, you can use Google Colab for pretty much everything, which is free, right? And then for serverless, we use AWS again, which will cost maybe, like, I don't know, less than 10 cents, I think. And Kubernetes also, there's an option to use AWS Kubernetes, which will cost some money. But you actually don't have, like, even if you don't deploy to the cloud, you will pass the certificate. That's one thing. Second thing, you can do Kubernetes locally. And if you use Kubernetes for deployment, it counts as cloud deployment. So that was the long answer. The short answer, yes, you can successfully complete the course and get the project done and get the certificate without paying anything, right? I would still suggest to get, like, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks for your AWS account, because chances are that for your job, you will need to use AWS, and it's good if you already can demonstrate that you can work with AWS, right? Then if you don't want to do that, you can explore Google Cloud, as I said, but having some cloud experience is really helpful. So I would try to use cloud for your projects. What is the most challenging module? Okay, well, it depends on your background. For people who do not have a lot of experience with programming, they found module 5 very challenging. For people who are developers and they're getting into machine learning, module 4 about evaluation is quite challenging. Yeah, like also deep learning one is not the easiest one because like there's a lot of information. And module 4 about evaluation is challenging because it's very abstract. Yeah. So module 4 and 5, modules 4 and 5, they're the most challenging ones. Is publishing updates about the course and what we did on social media is still part of the scoring mechanism? It is still, and if you were out of because of that, yeah, we will still keep it. We will still keep it. So yeah, you don't have to do that, and you also don't have to take our courses if you don't like that. Yeah, but for those who don't know what are they talking about, so what we do in our courses is we encourage learning in public. There is an article about that here, learning in public. And here we describe why, what is that? The main idea is you learn something and then you share progress about that on social media. And for that, you get awarded course points. So here in the course, I'll show other course, for example, this data engineering course. We have course leaderboard, and then people have points, like all the course participants, and you get 1 point for sharing something about the course. Right? So this is what we call learning in public, and we want to encourage you to learn in public. That's why we award points for doing that. Not everyone likes that, and one of the previous students unfortunately decided not to continue with the course because of that. That's very sad, but I am not going to change that, and it will still be a part of the course because we still want to encourage you to do that, to publish things you do in public, and this is optional. You don't have to do that, right? And again, remember, these points are virtual. They don't really give you anything, right? So it's up to you to decide if you want to do this or not, if you care about the points or not, and so on. So yeah. What is the difference between a midterm and Capstone project in the context of this course? Like, there is mostly no difference, except that midterm happens after you learn about module 5. right? So you just learn the basics. You learn about the basics of machine learning. You learn about the basics of deployment. You can already do a project. And then as you learn more, you can make your next project more complex, but you actually don't have to. So when it comes to project evaluation and project evaluation criteria, you can think of this as two, like the criteria, evaluation criteria are identical for midterm and Capstone project. And if you want to graduate, you can actually just learn the first 5 points or 5 modules, submit 2 projects, one for Capstone, one for midterm, and still graduate. Like you don't actually have to take all the modules. And also, like the modules are optional, so you don't have to take all the modules. If you already know some machine learning, you can skip the modules you know already and focus on things you don't know yet. So yeah, the only thing you need to do in order to complete the course with a certificate is finish 2 projects. Right. So if you finish 2 projects, you will get a certificate. And for that, we don't care about which modules you watched or didn't watch, which homeworks you completed or didn't complete, how many things you shared in public, or if you didn't share anything at all. When it comes to receiving a certificate at the end, we don't care about any of that. So, and yeah, like there's no difference between these 2 projects. Is it possible to use GNNs in the course projects? So GNN is graph neural networks, right? I guess. Well, we don't cover them. And the rule we have here, if you use something in the project that is not covered in the course, you have to cover it yourself. So you need to explain what GNNs are, why you use them, how they are useful. So basically, if I don't know about them and I need to evaluate your project, I need to be able to understand what's happening. So you need to make sure that this is the case, right? So you will need basically to tell the students, using the materials from the course's foundation, you need to explain them what GNNs are, and then it's okay. Will sessions be recorded? Most of the content is already recorded. Sessions like the one we have today are recorded. They will be in our YouTube channel. How many hours per week must we dedicate to this ML course? I answered that. From 5 to 20, right? Depends on your background. Is there going to be a live session per week, or are we just going to watch recording? So you're just going to watch the recording. There are some live sessions that happened in the past. These live sessions they started to become really repetitive. So that's why we decided not to do them. So you can watch the live sessions from the past cohorts, but not from this one. We will do at least 2 more live sessions. So the first one will be the course launch, and the second one, it will be before we do the project, where I will answer your questions about the project. When it comes to the rest of the modules, all the content is pre-recorded. You can ask any question you want in Slack. And also there are a ton of videos from the previous years. So year 1, when we started, we had a session every week. Year 2, we had a session every week. And then year 3, I think less often. And then this year we will not have almost none sessions, no sessions. And maybe I will already tell you how to find previous sessions, because maybe it's interesting. So you go to our YouTube channel, you go to playlists, and you will find playlist Machine Learning Zoomcamp 2023, Machine Learning Zoomcamp 2022, and 2021. So these are playlists specific to the courses of that year. So if I click on View Full Playlist for 2021, so you see there are office hours, and I actually recommend to check these office hours too. So they're optional, but you will learn a lot by checking them too. You will see projects from people who also participated in that year. Then 2022, like I think, yeah, we have also office hours, but then later we don't do them as often. So as you go through the course, I recommend checking these past videos too. And yeah, you will learn a lot from that. And I don't see a point of doing this again because we did this already. Can you share a bit on how to navigate the course and how to submit assignments, keep track of our course, and how learning and public points calculated? Hi, Banana. So I will do that in 2 weeks. So we will have a special session. I'll have a presentation where I'll talk about all of that, right? So right now, what you can do is you can just go to this machine learning Zoomcamp GitHub repo and just see it yourself, right? So I think navigation around the repo is pretty straightforward. So you scroll down and then you see the modules. So feel free to explore it on your own, but then we will explain it in more details in 2 weeks. So I don't think it makes sense to repeat what I'm going to say in 2 weeks. Where we can find deadlines for lessons completion and project completion. What about points criteria? I'll talk about that. I can briefly mention it now. So we have this amazing platform now, and I'll create a new record here, a new course. It will be ML Zoomcamp 2024. You go there and you will see deadlines here, right? So this is already a course that almost ended. So we still have projects, but you see deadlines here, right? So it will be closed. So we will not have, like it will be not clickable like the one here, but you will see a deadline, right? So then you can use this to do some planning. This is not, this will be tentative deadlines. So they will change as we go, as we follow through the course because of many different reasons. Right. So sometimes maybe there are some issues, and then we think, okay, it makes sense to extend the deadline, and it kind of pushes the whole thing. And when it comes to points, this is something I'll talk about in 2 weeks. What are the purpose of points? Are we going to get something aside from the certificate? Like for the certificate, we don't care about points. So points is to have fun, like to add some gamification element to this, and also encourage you to do homework, because as I said, homeworks are optional, but we still want you to do the homework. And how else can we encourage you to do homework if not by giving you some virtual points that I don't know how they are useful, but at the end, like the interesting part is, okay, while in real life these points don't mean much, we have a leaderboard. And if you're at the top, then people can see who you are. And for example, let's say there are hiring managers, they would go from top to bottom, right? So maybe they will check like top 20 people. They will not scroll all the way down to see who's at the bottom, right? That's one thing. Then, yeah, like there are many reasons, I guess. People want to have points because it's fun. Yeah, not everyone likes them. So if you don't, then like you can just pretend this leaderboard does not exist. Yeah. Can we start right away? Yes, you can. You don't have to wait. What do you think the best career is, ML engineer or data scientist? Well, depends. Like, they are different. So people with certain personality aspects will do better with one or another. So if you're more into engineering, then ML engineer. If you're more into maybe analytics and then talking, communication, these kind of things, then it's data science. So like, and also depends on what you mean by best. Like in terms of money, they are both equally compensated. So like, yeah. What are the recommended levels of knowledge in Python, math, and stat you need for this Zoom camp? Like you don't need to know any stats. We talked about math, and actually, if you don't know any Python, you can take like a simple course, or maybe actually ML camp. So there is so this course is based on a book. I wrote some time ago. You don't need the book, but there is this article, Introduction to Python. So the reason this article exists is there are many people who don't know Python, but know some other programming language. And this article, I actually copied here. So this article just tells you what you need to know. Like if you know JavaScript, if you know Java, if you know like some other programming language, you can just follow this, go through this article, open Python, try to execute that, and by the end of this article, you will learn enough. You will know enough Python to actually do the course. Okay. Yeah. So maybe let me answer it again. So if you understand that article that I just shared, you know everything you need, right? For math, if you understand the video about linear algebra, you know enough, and stats you don't need. And if you don't understand that video, just watch it and you will understand it. The same with Python. Check the article, go through this, and you have 2 weeks before the course starts, so that's sufficient time. Last year, you guys gifted an NVIDIA GPU to winners. Are we going to have similar contest this year? Thank you. It depends on NVIDIA. So last year, for the context, we had a competition as a part of the course last year, and the person who won the GPU, won the competition, won the GPU. Yeah. So we had a deal with NVIDIA. I shared some of their content, and they gave me a GPU, and I could give this GPU to the course winners, right? So if we have a similar deal with NVIDIA this year, then it will happen. If we do not have a deal with NVIDIA this year, it will not happen. It will not happen, yes. So we are about to finish another competition for another course for LLM Zoomcamp. And sadly for that one, I don't have a GPU. So the winners will not get a GPU. But I want to do another competition. And maybe for that one, there will be a GPU, maybe something else. I'll think of ways to make it interesting. Any tips for how to retain the knowledge we learn, as it can be overwhelming consuming all the content at once? Well, you will not be consuming all the content at once, right? So we are doing this over 4 months. And the best way to retain the knowledge is to doing projects. When you, well, first of all, you do homeworks, you kind of make sure that you understand the model. So if you have problems with the homework, then something maybe is missing. You need to go back and rewatch the models. And then when it comes to creating a project, this is like the ultimate test if you retain the knowledge or not, right? And then when you do the project, then you will need to go back again to the relevant parts. And then when you complete the project, then you will actually have the knowledge. And because we do it 2 times in this course, I'm sure by the end, when you complete 2 projects, you'll know, like you will retain all the knowledge, at least all the important knowledge for doing the projects. And I think this is the most important part. Like if you, by the end of the course, forget about, like, I don't know, how dropout in neural networks work, or like splitting criteria for decision trees, whatever, right? But you can implement things, and this is the most important thing, at least in my opinion. Is this course more aligned with data scientist or ML engineering career? Definitely ML engineering. Are there good materials on Kubernetes Docker? Yes, this course. What is the minimum? Or maybe you wanted to ask for materials in addition to that. Yeah, you'll find a lot of materials here when we go to Module 5. Like there are notes, which is important. There are deployment tutorials. So the notes is already good materials. And then like if you go to Docker, maybe we have some links here. Yeah, but like there are so many materials on Docker. Like I'm sure you'll find something if this is not sufficient. Also, when it comes to Docker, we have this data engineering course. So here, the first module is about Docker. So if you really want to learn Docker the hard way, then this is the course you want to take, right? So here in ML Zoomcamp, it's more lightweight introduction. Here is like more difficult one. But if you do both, because they are complementary, they are a little bit different. So if you do both, then you'll learn enough Docker to do like pretty much everything, hopefully. What is the minimum grade necessary to earn a certificate? I don't remember. It's like 8 or 9 points or 10. Like it's 95% of people pass. So it's not that high. Or maybe 90%, but like most people pass. Yeah, I think I answered that. Are you mentoring individually for the small? No, I don't mentor individually. Like we have Slack, where if you get stuck, you can ask for support. I'm a DevOps engineer. I wanted to transition to MLOps. I'm learning machine learning first and then MLOps. Am I on the right track? You are definitely on the right track. So you do this course first. For you, like Docker, Kubernetes, you already all know them, I'm sure. So maybe for you, it will be interesting how to apply the things you already know, like how do we use Docker here? How, like for Docker, maybe it's too simple, but like for Kubernetes, just to get some idea how we machine learning engineers can use Docker and Kubernetes. And then you just, after, you probably want to focus on the machine learning parts of the course. And then after that, you go to our MLOps Zoomcamp, where we continue building on top of what we do in this course. And we talk more about the engineering aspects of machine learning. We cover things like experiment tracking, orchestration, monitoring, whatever, right? So this course will start in May, but you can already take it at your own pace. So yeah, you're on the right track. What are the new or different features in ML Zoomcamp 2024 compared to previous years? None. Like we don't plan to add any extra materials. There will be a competition. The competition will be different, of course, from the last year. This year, so last 2 years when we had competitions for our ML Zoomcamp, they were about computer vision. So it was competitions where you needed to use neural networks. So this year we want to do something different. So probably it will be about time series. So this is something you can do in addition to the course to learn something extra. Is the market saturated for new machine learning engineers? Not that I know of. Like companies still need machine learning engineers. How do we follow along the course? Do we copy the code on the pre-recorded videos or just the home? Like up to you. Like I don't know how you study. I usually watch videos and then do homeworks for the other courses. You might want to do the same. Yeah. I don't know, maybe check in Slack how other students did that. I'm going to work with Hugging Face transformers, not in this course. In LLM Zoomcamp, we did that a little bit, but again, we just treated these things as black boxes. We didn't really go inside to learn how they work. There will be some practical projects, yes. I like to switch from software engineering to ML engineering. Do you recommend this? Yes, yes. So this is actually, so when I was writing a book and then creating this course, my main target audience was me, like 12 years ago, when I was switching from Java developer to machine learning, right? So for me personally, as an engineer, I learn by doing. That's why I wanted to create something very practical for people like me, so they can quickly grasp things they need to learn and implement like something practical as quickly as possible, right? That is why the main target audience for this course are software engineers who want to switch into machine learning. But it doesn't mean that if you don't fit this description, it will not be useful for you. Like for example, if you're a data scientist, and you want to learn more about machine learning engineering, check the modules on ML. If you're an analyst, right, maybe So you will be, for you it will be more difficult than for engineers to go through the engineering modules, but still many analysts went through this course and completed it, got certificates. So yeah, like if you're not a software engineer, you can still do the course, but if you're a software engineer, it's definitely for you. If we got stuck in coding, is there a way to reach out? Yes, Slack. Will the live sessions be broadcasted on YouTube? Yes, like this one. After this course, what is the next step? Since you said it doesn't go deeper into ML engineer, are we to make further research on your own? Yes. Like, of course, you can reach out to us in Slack and we can suggest specifically what you need to do. But yeah, it also really depends on which way you want to go, right? So for example, MLOps is one potential way, right? Or maybe you don't really want to go deeply into machine learning engineering. Maybe you just want to learn more about machine learning. That's totally fine. I don't have any experience except basic Python. Is this course for me? Well, you can just take a look and decide. You might. I think you should. Like, also depends on how motivated you are, right? So if you're motivated, even if you don't have basic Python knowledge, you will still succeed. You will still complete it. If you don't have motivation, then yeah, you will not, right? So I would say if you have motivation, then this course is for you, because this course is difficult. Many people drop off. This is natural. So the best thing to do is try and see if this is for you or not. You will see that from the first week. Yeah, just try to do the first week and see. Because it's actually very difficult for me to say, what do you mean by that? Any experience? What exactly? Like, do you know how to turn on computer? Like, do you know how to use terminal? So if you do know how to use terminal, then like you will be able to complete it, I'm sure. Are there penalties for missing bootcamp sessions? No. What are the assignments, criteria for earning a certificate? Project, I think I answered that. So if you complete 2 projects, you get a certificate. If you don't, you don't. The rest is optional. If I have some experience with the basics of ML, what this course will add to me so I can get into the job market? Again, like you just check and see. Mostly, I think for you, the engineering parts of the course will be useful. And then also if you complete the course, you will have 2 projects for your portfolio. So this is definitely good for you to get into the job market. Am I supposed to receive some kind of enrollment confirmation for this course, or it's enough to join Telegram and Slack channels? Yeah, like it's enough. We haven't started automating messages, emails yet. So if you're here, that's enough. Like, there is no actually enrollment button like here. For example, you will see a course here. Like you will not need to explicitly enroll in the course. You can just open it and submit your first homework, and that's it. Like you don't need to do anything. Oh, of course, you will not also need to log in. So you don't need to do explicitly anything to join the course. Yeah, I answered that just now. I am a data scientist. Is it okay for me to do a ML engineering class? Yes. Do we have a scoring system for this course? Yeah. What software tools will we be using? Python. Will there be weekly classes? Yeah. Yeah. To both. Like community interaction will be in Slack. Telegram is banned here. Is Slack enough? Yes, it's enough. Telegram enrollment is only needed for announcements. All the announcements are reposted to Slack. The problem with that is there are a lot of other things happening in Slack, so you might miss an announcement, but if you constantly check Slack, you will not miss anything. If you do this once per week, you might. Like you will need to scroll down through, to go through the all unread messages to see if you miss anything. So Telegram isn't for announcements, Slack is for reaching out for help and for communicating with other students. Hi Alexei, quick question. Will this course require cloud infrastructure to deploy our models? If yes, what are the recommendations? Not necessarily require, it's optional, but you can do this. You should do this. I think it's very helpful for your future career if you do that. AWS is great because it's still the most popular cloud provider, and we cover AWS in the course. But again, it's optional. You will be able to complete the course without doing any cloud, without paying a single dime. Do we need cloud knowledge to become ML engineers? I think yes. So like even if you get hired as machine learning engineer without cloud knowledge, you will need to learn cloud on the work. I'm pretty sure, or at least if they don't have cloud, they have some sort of on-prem clusters. Then you'll need to learn Kubernetes, and to me, it's kind of sort of cloud. It's not necessarily cloud, but like this is something you will use in cloud, on-prem, like whatever. So yeah, you need to know at least one cloud provider, and I would go to with AWS. But in your job market, in your geography, maybe Azure is more popular, so you need to open to check the job postings to see like what is more popular. Can you suggest some topics for the projects if I haven't one? Yeah, like when the time comes, let's chat in Slack. But like usually the way you do is you first find a data set that is interesting for you. There are links with data sets. And then, yeah, once you found an interesting data set, then you have a project. Will there be any job fair or talent pool, like referring? No. So we will not have that. Yeah, so if you know somebody, like perhaps there are some companies who organize that, if we can partner with them and if you can introduce us to each other, then please do that. Then we can definitely set this up. Running a course is already requires quite a lot of effort. So in addition to that, having a job fair or talent pool is too much. But I will be happy to partner with somebody if somebody wants to organize that. Any other resources you recommend to deep dive into ML while doing Zoomcamp? Yeah, I think as we go along the materials, there are some recommendations where you want to learn, where you can learn more. After the Zoomcamp, will you give? I think we talked about that. Will you use PyTorch or TensorFlow? We will use TensorFlow. Some students use PyTorch. They had to learn it themselves. But now these days with ChatGPT, like you can just copy the code we have. Like actually we have Keras, not TensorFlow, but you can copy Keras code to ChatGPT and say, hey, can you please rewrite it to PyTorch? And then here you go. You have you'll learn PyTorch instead of TensorFlow. Can this course help if we are aiming for data science roles? Definitely. I think a good data scientist should also know how to deploy machine learning models. And actually, my official title when I was working in machine learning was data scientist. I ended up doing more machine learning engineering work than data science work, but I started as a data scientist. And actually, for my career, knowing how to deploy things, knowing like all these engineering tools, it was super helpful for my career. So I definitely think that this is a good course for you if you want to be a data scientist, right? And also depends on how much you already know about machine learning. If you don't know anything, this should be a very good introduction. Will you do a data ops course in the future if, in case I want to go in that track? Unlikely. So if we do, like, there was an idea to do a DevOps course, but like the instructor who wanted to do that, she's now pregnant. So like not in the next couple of years, probably. Um, yeah, if you want to organize a DevOps course, reach out to me. We can do that. And once we have that, then we can talk about DataOps. Okay. Or maybe like if somebody wants to do a DataOps but not DevOps, let's talk too. But I think like we should do DevOps first. Anyways, like if somebody, maybe your friend, knows already this topic quite well and want to teach this, let's talk. we can organize something. I personally don't know that. I don't know DevOps that well. I don't know anything about DataOps, so I will not do that. So I can help organize that, but I will not be able to record materials actually. If you want to go down that track, ML course, MLOps, and data engineering. So, like for DataOps, you don't really need ML and MLOps. You just need to start with data engineering, and then perhaps you find some DataOps materials elsewhere, right? So, you don't actually need ML and MLOps. How much time do students typically allocate per week? 5 to 20 hours, depends on your background. ChatGPT and other generative AI going to eliminate juniors or even middle-level engineer job positions, right? I don't know. I don't have an oracle. I cannot ask it. So we live in interesting times, and we will see. I personally don't think it will eliminate. Somebody will still need to um, uh, do work, right? And if there are just seniors eventually, I don't know, get promoted, become managers, leave the job market for whatever reasons. So companies will still need somebody to work, right? And this will be juniors, right? So for example, I was a data scientist, a senior data scientist. Now I don't do data science anymore because I focus now on education, on courses. And then there are also senior people who stop doing that for whatever reasons. And the market needs to get fresh blood, right? So I don't think it will happen. Yeah, Google Colab is enough. Will there be any modules aimed at soft skills? Not as a part of the course, but if you go to our YouTube video, YouTube channel, you will find a lot of videos about that. Like if you go to live, yeah, like there is a ton of materials. Then also podcasts, like we have so much content about soft skills in our podcast. So just go through our podcast and see if anything sounds interesting to you, and then just check these podcast episodes. From all the Zoom camps, which one has been more successful at helping students landing a job? That's such a difficult question to answer. Or like I don't even know like uh, how to start. Like first of all, this one and data engineering one, they are beginner level courses, meaning that after that, people who do these courses, they're interested in finding a job, right? MLOps course is more like a kind of intermediate level course. So people who do this course, they already have a job. Like, what doesn't mean that that course is less successful at helping landing a job? I don't know. But I guess like this one is quite successful. The data engineer one is successful, but they are successful for landing different jobs, right? So it depends on what you're interested in. But like also, I don't have any stats. Like I cannot say that for this course, like I don't know, 10% found a job, for this course 20. I just know anecdotes, and that's all. What an unnecessary IDE that we need? Any you want? Visual Studio Code is fine. This is what I use in the videos. If you like PyCharm, whatever, you can use PyCharm. I'll just answer maybe last two questions or three, because yeah, we should be actually wrapping up. And I'm very tired of talking. We will definitely come back to these questions in 2 weeks when we do the course launch. I'll have slides where I talk about many things, and then we will continue with all these questions. What is the essential difference between ML engineer and data scientist? So I think I already talked about that a little bit. So machine learning engineer and data scientist, they're doing different things. Oh, by the way, I think like there is a really good answer here. One of the first articles I wrote for this for this website is roles in the data team. Yeah, it was some time ago. And here we talk about data scientists and machine learning engineers, right? And here in this article, we have a data scientist who gets the data and builds a model. And here we have machine learning engineers who get the model that was built by data scientists and makes sure it's production ready. This is a very simplified description. Machine learning engineers often also need to create models. Data scientists sometimes also need to deploy models, but it's just to help you understand like what is the, let's say, focus of each role. So machine learning engineer is engineer, so the focus is on engineering. Data scientist is a scientist, so the focus is more on analytics, on creating models, on communication, on understanding the problem correctly, making sure the data is good, making sure that we can train a model there. Like these are the things that machine learning engineer usually don't, they aren't concerned about these things. Okay, so let me take these two questions and we'll call it a day. What kind of projects will be provided in the course? What do you mean by provided? We will not provide any projects. You will need to provide yourself a project. Like you'll need to do a project yourself. Is it a beginner course? Yes, it's a beginner course. What will be the outcome of this course for a person beginning what? Career? Like the fundamentals for beginning your career, I guess. What's the difference between MLOps and ML Zoomcamp course? So this one is introduction, let's say, to machine learning engineering, and MLOps is more like, okay, now you know the basics, let's learn other tools and things in ML engineering. So both of them are about engineering, about the engineering aspects of ML, engineering aspects of machine learning. MLOps is more advanced, like it's, as I said, more intermediate level course. Okay, and is there any way to communicate with each other? There is Slack, and this is what you should use for communicating with each other. If in addition to that you create WhatsApp group, Telegram group, whatever group, feel free to do that. But and there will be a teaching assistant, Timur, so we will only be able to monitor Slack and help you there. And most of the students will also be in Slack, so I suggest you use that. And then if in addition to that you want to do something else, feel free to do that. Okay. Whew. That's enough for today. I am very tired. I need to have a break and dinner and yeah. But yeah, thanks a lot. Like, I really enjoyed answering your questions. I hope you liked my answers. Yeah. Okay. So that has been fun. That was fun. So enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks when we actually start the course. In the meantime, what you can do is check the course repo. There is a link in the description. You just click on that. So go through that, the content there, explore it, just to make sure you understand what is there. And then in 2 weeks, we'll talk about the course, logistics, scoring system, the course management platform, all that. Okay, thanks.